Well, it's that time of year again. The summer event for War Thunder has just been announced. Last year we had Operation Heat, but this year we are returning to the original Operation Summer name. As per usual with the summer events, we have tasks to complete every 2 days, with separate tasks and rewards for Air Forces, Ground Forces and Naval Forces respectively. Personally, I was a bit burnt out of War Thunder after the recent World War Mode season, but this event is definitely going to pull me back in with what looks to be a stellar lineup of prizes. One early premium for each vehicle class, and then also a higher tier event vehicle for each class as well. And alongside that, we also have special camouflage options for those event vehicles, 3D decorations and decals, which this year are showing mythical creatures. Firstly, let's get on to what everyone is here for, the prize vehicles themselves. For aircraft, we start off with the Arado 196A3. This is a Tier 1 premium vehicle and is actually a user-made model and was made by the creator of the TAR 154 and the Supermarine Scimitar. Personally, I have a soft spot for German World War II Scout-type aircraft, which hopefully was made clear by my recent video on the Focke-Wulf 189. In this case though, the Arado 196 is a single-engine seaplane which is armed with a pair of 20mm MG-FF cannons and an MG-17 machine gun, and then also has a single 7.92mm machine gun in the back as a defensive turret. I have quite high hopes for this aircraft, and hopefully it can live up to them once I receive it after completing the 5th air task. The top prize vehicle for air tasks is the F-11 F1 Tiger. This will be at Tier 6 and is notable as being the first jet aircraft in history to shoot itself down. Certainly a somewhat unique footnote in the aircraft's history. The aircraft is capable of supersonic speed at altitude, although is by no means a top tier contender, so I am assuming that it will be 9.7 or lower at release. The main armament of the aircraft is a set of 4 20mm cannons mounted either side of the fuselage underneath the air intakes. The F-11 can also carry 4 missiles, which look to be AIM-9Bs. These are mounted under the wings, and the same pylons can also take bombs and unguided rockets for ground attack. Of course, being a naval fighter aircraft, the Tiger is equipped with an arrestor hook, which will allow it to land on aircraft carriers. The Tiger will be received for completing 10 of the air tasks and will get a secondary camo when 11 of those tasks are completed, which currently I don't believe they've shown, although I'm really holding out hope that it's going to be a Blue Angels paint scheme. Other prizes that can be received for completing the aviation tasks include the already mentioned secondary camos and some of those mythical creature decals. Moving on to tanks, we have another nice set of prizes. Firstly, the recently added Swedish Ground Forces line gets an event vehicle in the form of the Tier 2 Premium IKV-73. This is basically an STRV-42EH with the hull-mounted machine gun removed and seemingly having the same 75mm cannon. This is one of the prizes here that I'm not really that bothered about, although I'm sure I will end up playing it a little bit regardless. Now, the top prize for Ground Forces is something that I think will surely be the end goal for majority of the players in this event. This is the Leopard C2A1 Mexas, and the vehicle will be placed at Tier 6 on the German Ground Forces line and is actually a Canadian modification of the Leopard 1. After an initial look, it's quite obvious that the Mexas has received an extensive armor upgrade, with additional plates essentially all over the hull and the turret, making it nearly unrecognizable as a Leopard 1. While surely improving the armor, this will also add quite a bit of weight, which will hinder the vehicle's mobility when compared to its lighter armored Leopard counterparts. There's no mention of the rounds used by the vehicle, although I think it would be safe to assume that DM23 APFSDS is likely to be a choice, as that is also featured on the standard German counterpart in-game. I would also assume that the gun is stabilized, although I'm not 100% sure if the upgrades by the Canadians added thermals or not. Additional prizes for Ground Forces of course include some secondary camouflage options for the mentioned vehicles and some 3D decoration guns. So finally moving on to Naval, I'm actually excited for both of these prizes honestly, as both of them fit into BRs and nations that I have already played and enjoyed. The early prize is a tier 2 premium and is actually for the newly added Italian naval line. This is the Freca P493, and if I'm not mistaken this is actually the sister ship to the Saeta P494, which is a boat that I simply adore playing and have already made a video on. In this case though, it appears that the anti-ship missile mount, which is on the Saeta, has been replaced by a third 40mm cannon, and that the vessel can also be fitted with 2 torpedo tubes. Although by looking at the devblog pictures, I assume that you can either have the torpedoes or that third 40mm cannon. In my case, I would personally opt for the extra 40mm cannon, as those guns are really nice to use, and even against larger ships can do quite a lot of damage, as can be seen in my review of the Saeta. This is certainly a vessel that I personally am quite excited to get, and will happily use along my other tier 2 Italian vessels. The top naval prize is the Maxim Gorky, which is a Russian cruiser and is going to be a tier 4 event vehicle. As far as I understand, this is the same class as the Kirov, although if I understand correctly, the Maxim actually has improved armor and stronger anti-air defenses. As someone that's about halfway through grinding the Russian cruisers, I'm pretty happy to see this coming along to strengthen my lineup, and it will also be able to get a nice tricolor camouflage for that 11th naval task. Other prizes for naval include the secondary camos for these vehicles, both of which do have quite nice looking secondary camouflage options, and some more of those mythical creature decals that I mentioned previously. As mentioned, there are tasks once every 2 days for earning the stars. You will need to get a set amount of stars for the specific prizes. For example, once you get 5 stars for a specific vehicle class, you will then get the first vehicle coupon for that unit type, be that naval, air or tanks. You will then, for 10 stars, get the top prize coupon, all of which are standard event vehicles. The first 3 prizes are premiums, and then the 3 higher prizes are all event vehicles, so they are not premium. I will throw those tasks up on the screen for a few seconds, so feel free to pause the video and take a look at the relevant information. Anyway, I think that's more or less it. Generally a pretty nice looking event. It's not a crafting event, we have tasks to do, it's sort of the old format that everyone is used to and most people enjoy, and the prizes are certainly quite a nice lineup this time, so I'm quite excited to get in. Looks like the event will be starting, if I read correctly, on the 7th of August, so we have about a week from the time of this video being released until the event starts, so plenty of time to ease yourself back into War Thunder if you have been taking a break like I have. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, and if you wish to see more content like this, and hopefully some content covering these prize vehicles in the next few weeks, feel free to subscribe to the channel. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.